This video is going to be centered around tile maps and collisions. Right now we have a level, but as cool as the Godot icon is, it's not really much of a level at all. Let's just get rid of it. Get out of here. Alright. Our first step to actually creating a map is getting a new child node, TileMap. Create. We're going to go to the right in the inspector here, and then we're going to hit new tile set. Once the new tile set is created, and at the bottom there's a tile set tab, we can then go through our assets, backgrounds, tile sets, and we can find sets of tiles that we want to use for our map. In this case, nature is pretty cool, so I'm going to throw that in there. You can hit yes to automatically create tiles in the atlas. This just breaks everything down. I'll come back to this later, but basically every single frame that has some sort of art in it is highlighted. Is great. Let's also use relief, as that's also a cool tile set. You can use the right mouse button to wiggle it around, and you can zoom in and out to make it bigger or smaller. A couple of things we want to do before we start placing tiles down. First thing is we're going to want to create one tile for this rock instead of 4. So you can go ahead and delete the 3 tiles around it. You can click on this tile here, go to the select icon, hit select, and then we can drag this box over the rock. So now it's just one frame, which makes things a lot easier when placing. We do the same thing with trees, you know, whatever we want, we can do that with. Now we have our 2 tile sets. We can go to the tile map and we can start placing down some tiles. You can just find a frame. Example for the floor. This seems pretty cool. I'm gonna place it all around this camera here. Paint it on this line actually. Probably a good idea. Here we go. Let's color all that in. Right now we're seeing something that we gotta change. Our player just disappeared under the floor. That's because in this level hierarchy, that whatever child node is on the bottom is going to be presenting first. So if we just drag player and throw it on the bottom here. Oh look, there's our player character. Awesome. Another thing we should get into is different layers of your tile map. You're going to want to categorize your layers into 3 different layers, for lack of a better term. We're going to want a ground layer, which is what we're going to call this one. Create an objects layer, be our second layer, and then we're going to create a wall layer. These 3 layers we can kind of stack together. So for example, we can have a ground layer, and then if we go into objects and go to nature, throw this around, and it's not going to overwrite our map here. So if I go into play, it's both the ground and this object. Right now we're not clodding with any objects, but we'll get to that later in this video. Important thing you need to know is that if you want to have a, tile have multiple objects on it, you're going to need to layer it. To our tile map. Undo all this. Yeah, put some foliage in there. Keep doing that. You just click on it once, and then you can put as much as you want in there. Yeah, screw it. Why don't we just put some nice grass in here? Let's add a wall in here. We'll use this as the wall. The bottom portion. This is going to be our bottom right corner, our bottom left corner, left portion, top right corner, top portion, top right corner, like so, bottom right corner. Right click to remove. I think I have to just make that this. There we go. Okay, so now we have our walls. So if we run into the game here, We move. You just run out of the wall. Kind of an issue. We want to collide with it. So for adding collision to our map, there's a couple of steps we need to do. And there's a couple of concepts that I want to go over. The first concept, physics layers and collision layers. So if we add a physics layer, now we have a collision layer and a collision mask. Right now they're just, you know, layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, layer 4, so on and so forth. And the same with the mask. What we're going to want to do is we're going to go project settings. And we're going to want to scroll down until we hit layer names. You want to click on 2D physics. And you want to start making categories for these layers. For example, be a player layer. Going to be an object layer. And there's going to be a wall layer. That's all we're going to need for now. When it comes to the collision layers and collision masks, the layer is what the object, or, you know, whatever the node is. So in this case, we're thinking about walls here. I guess you could technically say it's walls and objects, but right now we'll pick walls. And the mask is what it affects. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter if it affects other walls because those are static. But let's say it affects objects and it affects players. What we can also do is now we can go into our player, hit collision, and look, our player is now interacting with other players, objects, and walls. We can change the collision shape a bit to make it more realistic, as it's going to be on his feet, the player's feet. It's like that. Just throw it at the bottom for a second so we can really see there. Okay. You know what? That's fine. Throw that back up here so we can see our sprite again. Go back to our level. So again, our player is colliding with walls, objects, and players. We should have collisions, right? Well, not yet, because we still have to paint on and define what exactly it is we're colliding with and how it's being interacted. You know, where like collision lines are the map. We have one for our player, but we still have to draw one for our tile map. To do that, we can to tile set. We can hit paint. We can select a property to paint, and we'll pick physics layer 1, or sorry, 0. We can choose what area of the frame is actually going to be something your character collides with. So if I just select this, it'd be the whole box. But technically, visually, we could walk in most of this box. It's just the end we collide with. So in the painting section on the left, we can define exactly where our character is going to be colliding with this frame. And then just left click on the tile. That's pretty good. We can make it a bit better. What you can actually do with this is you can add additional points and make it exactly like the image. So that's good for that layer. And we can click on this one. We're gonna have to change it a bit. Like so. That's gonna be good for that corner. I'm going to go ahead and add this physics layer to any end of this border that the player can collide with. Not perfect, but it's pretty good. And then, not forgetting, we got to add our rock. I'm pretty happy with that. All right. Painting's done for collisions. Go to our tile map here. And for objects, let's throw in some rocks too. A couple around here. Great, with our map ready, let's test it out. Go ahead and hit the play button, and let's see if we collide with objects. Look at that, our character's running into a rock. Good, exactly what we wanted. and it's hitting the walls. Awesome. Thanks for watching my tutorial on tile maps and collisions. If this was helpful for you, feel free to subscribe. Thanks for watching.